Cheers! Welcome to my channel. This is a daily tarot oracle reading, Tattletales from Tales from the Vector. My goal is to provide valuable information to empower you. This is a collective or general reading, so just be aware parts of it may or may not resonate with you. Take what works for you and just leave the rest. Also, if this is a timely reading, meaning that if you're watching this now, it's the perfect time for you. If it's been some time since I posted this, what was going on in your life back then, that may have more information for you regarding your situation. And we're going to begin with the underlying energy from the bottom of the deck. We have the Lovers. So this is talking about meeting up with someone that could be a partner for you. The Lovers card is a matter of choice, so it's choosing who you wish to be with. This isn't necessarily someone that you want to marry or whatever, but it's someone that you want to get to know better and also maybe just want to be in a relationship with. And this is your higher self network also. So sometimes this card can represent your masculine and feminine energies coming together as one so that you're really balanced to be able to find someone that matches that same type of energy. Which of course, if you're balanced in your masculine and feminine energies, you're choosing to be with someone rather than feeling the need to be with someone. We have the Ten of Pentacles. I'm just going to double check. Yes, I'm going to move this up a little bit and this over a little bit. I was doing the readings for the astrological readings, and I just wanted to make sure that I have this set up so you'll be able to see it. We have, I didn't explain the Ten of Pentacles. So the Ten of Pentacles is talking about it's raining money. This is the most money or abundance that you can have on the third dimensional. It's actually not just about money. It's talking about health, wealth, happiness, like abundance and in your lifestyle. So having like the home, you know, in the neighborhood you want with the big yard and the kids and your perfect partner with your pets and having time to stop and chat with the neighbors and that kind of energy. There we go. And then we have the Knight of Pentacles coming in. So the Knight of Pentacles is one of 4 knights in the minor arcana of the tarot. And the knights used to work for the king and the queen and the rest of the court. And they would be responsible for delivering messages far and wide. And they would start off as a page and then around the age of 7 or 14-ish, between that time. And if they were good at what they did when they were 21, they could be considered for knighthood, as long as they could afford a horse. So this energy is talking about the Knight of Pentacles is a form of communication coming in regarding your pentacles. And the energy is taking a long time coming. This is the slowest of all the knights. His horse is actually at a standstill. And he's overlooking the land here to see which direction do I go to now. Like what would be the fastest route to get back to the king. Maybe he delivered the message to the other kingdom, but now he has to return the answer all the way back. Which way was I going again? That kind of energy. So this can be the slowest moving. Having said that, when the information does come in, it often is quite accurate and it can be like a legacy. So this kind of money that we're talking about here is generational wealth. It's a legacy that you can pass down to your descendants and their descendants. And this energy also, I feel, represents maybe some energy. You might be in a position where you're kind of at a standstill in your life, where you're making a decision. You know, what kind of lifestyle do I want? Maybe you're considering offering marriage to this person, to your lover, that kind of energy. Or maybe you're considering like, maybe this isn't working out between us and we need to separate. So whatever that is, that energy is, this is indicating that some form of communication is coming in. Now, of course, these days we have so many ways to communicate. This could be a text, it could be a phone call, an email, it could be a letter in the mail, papers coming in from some business agreement. It could be a social media post. It could be something you see on the news, that kind of energy. And so this, it seems that there's some information coming in about a large amount of money, and it has something to do with you being in a partnership with someone, with a lover. Okay, and then we have, okay, so this is juggling pentacles. Now this card can represent someone who's doing a lot of multitasking. You know, multitasking is, you know, really beneficial, but you have to be careful, because if you're too busy and you're multitasking too many things at once, what can happen is you can have a lot of quantity of shift getting done, but no quality to the work. And then you end up having to do it over again, so it takes you twice as long, kind of energy. This card is also those waves in the background are talking about the momentum of whatever it is you're doing here. And so this can be juggling two options, like working, playing, like work hard, play hard, good, bad, successful, failure, like that kind of energy, the two extremes, and juggling them. And this card says juggle your options, but don't juggle your morals. And then we have the energy of the High Priestess coming in. And the High Priestess is sitting on her throne next to God. And she is when the Fool begins their journey in the major arcana, the first card they come across is the Magician, and then they meet up with the High Priestess. And so the High Priestess energy is speaking about using your intuition. So being able to be intuitive as well as use your logic to make decisions in life. And even regarding, like, if it's a logical decision about what you're going to do with your money or your abundance in the 3D world, it's still everything that manifests on the planet manifests first in the spiritual realm. So this is talking about, like, the queen, the High Priestess sits next to the throne by God. And she's in between two pillars, more dealing with the ethics. You know, like when I said here, you know, juggle your options, but don't juggle your morals. This is about the morality end, you know, of that equation. And so she's sitting, this represents the devil, and this represents Jesus, actually. And then this here is the crescent moon. And so that represents the different cycles of the moon. And the High Priestess uses the cycles of the moon to be able to to move the energy in a direction she wants it to go. The full moon, there's so many phases of the moon, but the main two are the full moon. And the full moon is talking about being a good time to release what no longer serves you. And the new moon is about being able to move into the new. As we're doing this reading right now, it is like there was a new moon last night in the sign of Capricorn. And so that energy is kind of pulling on people a little bit right now. And it's talking like, because we're also in the sign of Capricorn. So the energy is talking about, you know, the mountain goat that climbs the mountain, and it has, you know, it's consistent steps of action to climb to the top to accomplish a goal. And this is a very determined energy, because the hind end on this mountain goat, it's actually a sea goat, so it's a dolphin tail. So you can imagine trying to climb a mountain on the land with a tail of a fish. And so this is the Capricorn energy is talking about consistent steps of action towards your goals. Capricorn energy is very determined, and it's the most mature of the pentacle energy. And so we have a lot of pentacle energy here at the beginning of this reading. And it's talking about, you know, the most mature level. Like we have the Taurus energy, and then we have Virgo, and then we have the Capricorn energy. And so Capricorn is ruled by Saturn, and that's a very deep energy. And it can be really challenging for people, if particularly if because Saturn takes, to do a revolution, it takes Saturn about 28 to 29 years. And so a lot of times at the age of 28 to 29-ish, that's when a lot of times whatever you didn't accomplish by your 29th year, if you were trying to resolve something or get something done, that energy will come up for you. and you'll have to deal with it for the next 28, 29-year cycle. And so like at 58, if you still haven't dealt with it, then you'll be dealing with it when you're 84. And not that many people get past like the age of 100 and whatever it is, that you have to deal with it a fourth time if you still haven't managed to clean up the energy. So that's coming in, and that's been coming up for some reason in the past readings here in the last week. And then we have the Emperor energy. And so the Emperor has been showing up a lot also lately. The Emperor is talking about all four kings rolled into one person. So this is talking about like all your life skills, everything that you learned and how you do it. The Emperor represents all four kings rolled into one person. And so this is someone who's had enough life experience that he's at a very high performance level because he's been there, done that. And this energy is talking about, you know, being very wise, being good with money, and also abundance of all kinds on 3D, having a really sharp mind and using your intellect, also being very intuitive, very much in control of the emotional state and not reacting to emotions, but doing things out of like more like common sense and both the intellect and your intuition combined. And also the energy of being able to have passion for life, and like this is the Emperor is all about performance. He's wearing his armor underneath his robe, so at a moment's notice, if there's an opportunity that comes up, he's able and willing and ready and deserving, and he's committed to doing it. And so this is, and he knows that he deserves all the best, so he goes after opportunities when the time is ripe. And then we have, this card here has been coming up a lot too, and I do feel that it is because, you know, the 9s and the 10s right now when they're coming up in the readings, 2025 was a 9 year, 2 + 2 + 5 = 9. And this energy is talking about the end of a cycle, and then the 10 year is like the ending of the cycle, moving into rebirth of a new cycle. So we're talking about, you know, 2026 is a 10 year, and then you can bring that down to a 1, and that's a new beginning. And so the division between 2025 and 2026 was not just a division of 1 year to another. It was more like a decade of a cycle of 10-year decade, like a decade of energy coming to an end, and a new cycle of a decade coming forward. And so this energy can be very like it's been very, like there's been quite a big difference from 2025 to 2026 already. A lot of the time you don't even notice so what if there was a new year, you don't even notice it. But I think a lot of people are really feeling this energy. There's so many astrological influences pushing people to really look at doing things in a new way. Perhaps because it seems like a lot of the old ways are not working. So this represents a never-ending nightmare. And it can also represent the Capricorn energy that we're in and taking advantage of it. Because this energy is talking about, also it can be like, this can be like waking up to a nightmare every night and not being able to sleep. And it can also mean getting enlightenment from source energy. And that usually happens between 2 and 4 in the morning. So this can represent someone who receives some enlightenment from Holy Spirit, and now they're trying to remember, okay, what exactly was in that dream, what was happening, that kind of energy. And then we have the King of Wands coming in. So the King of Wands is considered to be a very visionary person, someone who you know, really loves to tackle new projects and is really passionate about knowledge and traveling and understanding people from new cultures and all of that kind of energy. He's also like, he's ready for action also, but he is considered also to be like one of the most easy to get along with kings. He's very charming and he's sexy. He's the kind of guy you wouldn't kick out of bed for eating crackers. He's like really like you could forgive him for almost anything. He's got like that kind of personality that everybody gets along with, and people, you know, enjoy being in his presence because he genuinely does care about people and enjoys interaction with different individuals. And you can feel it when you're around that, you know, that energy. What I noticed though the other day is that one of the things, well, I knew this about it before, but about the salamanders in a circle on the back here with the lion. This energy is representing protection from fire, and all of the royal cards, like the face cards, in the suit of the wands have this, some salamander and or like this on their tunic or whatever. And so this energy represents protection from fire because that's the element. The only one that doesn't have this is the Queen of Wands, and that's because she commands the fire, and so she doesn't need protection from it. And this energy is talking about total fulfillment. And so again, that's like in the coming year, it feels like this card's coming up so much. Like there's so many opportunities right now to take advantage of the planetary movements right now, and also the energy of that one cycle ending and coming into another. So it's really beneficial sometimes to look back and see what were you doing on like New Year's Eve-ish energy in 2015 to 2016. Who were you with? What were you doing? What was the energy? That may empower you to make strong choices here, like regarding getting to this level of fulfillment. This is like 10 of cups is the most the most cups you can have. So you already have 10 pentacles, and now you're being offered 10 cups of energy, as long as you stay within your morality and you listen to the Holy Spirit energy and you stay on your path. But the thing that I didn't finish saying about this was, one thing I noticed is that this almost looks like a face here, and it looks like there's the eyes, and then this is the nose, and there's smoke coming in, the mouth. So someone's smoking, and it's sort of saying where there's smoke, there's fire. So it's kind of like, make sure that I'm building a pyramid here, so you want to make sure this bottom row is the first steps of the pyramid, and we're climbing it. And this is talking about, these are the tools that you have, is to be able, you have lots and lots of pentacles, the most that you can have. You have some strong information coming in that you've been waiting for forever, and either patiently or impatiently. And you have this ability to multitask. Having said that, you also have to make sure you did not juggle your morals, because this, and use your intuition, to get to a higher performance level. The higher that, the more energy you pour into yourself and invest in yourself, in really coming to know yourself better, the higher your vibration rises. And so listening to your inner self, like listening to your intuition and being like a visionary, like the King of Wands, moving into that energy. Because like this card, I feel like, is saying that where there's smoke, there's fire. And so this is now the obstacles that you're going to come up against. So if you want to have this fulfillment of having both the money and the love in your life, and having the lover that's perfect for you, this is what you could be coming up against. And so right away here, we have the Five of Swords, and this represents, this can represent you having a battle of your mind, whether this is what you want. Like, do you really want to settle down kind of energy? You see he's got two swords here together. This represents your subconscious mind, your unconscious mind, and your conscious mind. He's got a handle on his conscious mind. That's what he knows for, like he's very much aware of. The unconscious mind is what your soul desires. And so a lot of people feel like, oh, I'm a human being with a soul, but you're actually a soul that's traveling in a human body. And that's your vehicle to get around Earth so that you can learn all these lessons. And so your soul has some very strong desires and needs also. And if you do not listen to your soul, what happens is it's fighting inside your body, and quite often that will represent itself as pain. And so this is talking about being congruent in these minds so that you're aware. And so if you're making a decision about being, in this case, with a lover, and whether or not you want to make a commitment, like this is talking about marriage, that kind of commitment as a life partner, then you need to make sure that you're in alignment with your heart's desires. And then we have the star energy. You were born to shine. And that's clear. You have a lot to work with here. And this energy is talking about you're born to shine, and you have your foot in the universal waters. You have two vessels here. And so you're adding your special flavor to the universal waters, and then you're pouring that out onto earth. And there's 5 streams here, and that represents the pentacles, like the health, wealth, happiness, all the abundance that your special uniqueness brings to the earth. And this is talking about also, interestingly enough, scientists now have discovered that stars are actually made of water, a high percentage, and so are human beings. So it's talking like you are actually closer to being a star than you realize. This represents the Pleiades, and this represents your North Star. When you follow your North Star, it means you're on your designated path. And you notice that sitting right here on the High Priestess and the Emperor energy. You have to raise your vibration to attract what you want and to have that high performance by using your intuition as well as your logic. And then we have the energy. This is a Sagittarius energy, but it's representing, I feel, the energy of, this is a rebel with a cause, the Knight of Wands. So this is talking about, this could be a communication coming in from the King of Wands regarding something he's very passionate about. And that could be maybe this lover, and maybe wanting to bring in a message like, hey, would you like to go on a date, or that kind of energy, you know, like, I'm really interested in you, I'd like to get to know you better. He has a big red plume on the back of his helmet here, and that represents that he can be a bit of a hothead and quick-tempered. He's passionate, he likes action, he wants to go, go, go. And you notice he does have that protection from fire here over top of his armor. His horse is representing him having to rein in his emotions. He's learned to do this. So and rein in his passion. So he makes really strong decisions, basically. And then the 3 pyramids in the background represent the energy of him loving the mysteries of the world, that visionary energy. So this is talking about him sending a message to someone, and it could be to a lover, regarding, hey, I'm really interested in you, would you like to go out on a date, kind of energy. This also can be talking on February 17th, we're moving into the year of the fiery horse energy from the year of the snake. That's on February 17th. And on that end, the fiery horse energy is very much what I just described, the Knight of Wands energy. And so this is something that the fire signs, which are Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius, need to be aware of, is that they already have a lot of fire in them. And so when this next year coming up, it's adventurous, setting really high goals in your business, in your career, free-spirited, a lot of heart when it comes to your love relationships, a lot of passion. But having said that, the danger is that it can be very impulsive energy, and it can also be the kind of energy where you don't know you don't know how to pace yourself properly. So you burn yourself out and you aren't able to get to your goal because you just burnt yourself out and you're too exhausted from the whole process. And then we have the Page of Pentacles coming in. So there's this energy regarding the pentacle. I feel like if this was a decision that you need to make about these 10 pentacles, or it's a decision that has been made about these 10 pentacles, that has finally come through now, and it's being delivered. And so some form of communication is coming in about these pentacles, and it's a lot of money. And then we have the Strength card coming up. So this has been really coming up a lot, and I feel it's coming up a lot because it's requiring people to really face their fears right now, to be able to embrace the energy we have, because it's new, and it's fiery, and yet at the same time there's so many elements to it that we don't really know. And this is talking about this young woman is reaching into this lion's mouth. This is a mature lion, but he's being submissive and allowing it. because she is really strong to what she's doing. She's reaching into his mouth to prove to herself that she can face her fears. And she has the infinity sign above her head. Quite often this can represent the fears that we have from our subconscious mind, which we talked about here. And having the courage to face, so this is having the courage, these are the obstacles, and now we're moving into, okay, do you have the courage to be able to really go after what you really want? And the wheel of fortune is turning, so you're highly favored. This is the 10 card again. 2026 is a good year for people who really want to embrace this energy. And so this is talking about the past, present, and the future coming together, and the universe speaking to you in synchronicities. Some people say, oh, it's just a coincidence. And those people rarely manifest in the same way that people who consider coincidences synchronicity. Synchronicities is the language of the universe. So when the universe is speaking to us, one way that it speaks to us is by through circumstances like that happen in our life. And it's kind of like you either pay attention to those or you don't. And then we have the energy of the Six of Pentacles coming in. So the Six of Pentacles is saying, hey, now is a really, really, really good time to plant seeds for what you really want this upcoming year. If you've already blown your New Year's resolution from January 1st, you've always got the energy of the Chinese New Year when the horse energy comes in. And this is learning, this is talking about planting seeds and then learning how to distribute the harvest. Like, how much do you keep for yourself? How much do you give? And how much do you take? Who do you invest in? How do you invest in that? How much do you pay people you invest in? It's talking about all that energy. How much do you pay yourself? This is talking about planting the seeds, reaping the harvest, and then distributing the money, and having the discernment to understand how much of yourself to give and how much to take. This is not just money here. We're talking about your time, your energy, the very essence of your being, basically, everything that your lifestyle. And so this person is receiving money and this person is not. This person already has something in their pocket. And that's why the scales of justice are over this person, because they're asking for more than what they're willing to give. And then we have the Page of Cups coming in. So this is, again, saying perhaps this could represent the King of Wands making a decision and now to ask someone out. And now the Page of Cups is coming back and saying, okay, this lover that you're interested has considered your offer. And they know that there's plenty of fish in the sea, but they're very focused on you as well, and they would like to get to meet you and go out on a date with you. That kind of energy. Now, keeping in mind that all of these are archetypes, so the king could be a man in his masculine energy or a woman in her masculine energy. And, the knights and all the male, they could be women in their masculine energy, as well as the women be like men in their feminine. And then we have justice coming in. So this justice is sitting like right on this energy of the emperor. And the emperor is quite often someone that implements justice. Quite often the emperor could be someone that's very high up in the court system, or someone who is a minister or in the Senate, that kind of energy. Someone that has a lot of clout and is used to getting things done in a strong way. They are all about performance. And so the justice is talking about being in between these two pillars, similar to this. This veil in the background represents the veil between the ancestors and the descendants, between the spiritual and the physical realm. And she's got the sword of justice in her hand here. And so she's wielding that sword from her right hand. And it's so, if there's been, I don't know if maybe there's something about these 10 pentacles that you may have been being worried about, and you're waiting for some sort of judgment from the court system or whatever, this could represent something like that here. And then we have the Chariot coming in. So the Chariot is saying that this justice is already happening on the spiritual realm. So the spiritual court has already made their decision, and it's coming down to the more physical realm. So you can see this right now. If you watch the news, you'll see a lot of situations right now where situations that were happening around the world, like from the higher ups making decisions, and some of them being kind of like, what the hell is that about, kind of energy. And we're seeing a lot of that right now. It's kind of, okay, so justice is now on the spiritual realm, and we're seeing like energy from things that happened 4 or 5 years ago, that is now coming into, it's being dealt with in the courts, because it takes the courts forever. An example of that right now is when the Emergency Act was implemented back in 2021 or 22, when there was the big protest in Ottawa, and they implemented the Emergency Act. It has been decided by the Supreme Court, and it could go now all the way to another Supreme Court, the highest. But the judge who said that was not a legal, they didn't need to do it, and they didn't follow the law on that, and that it was not a legal emergency, they shouldn't have called it. That decision now, 3 judges in the Supreme Court have said total agreement that the judge that gave that judgment was absolutely correct. And so now it could go to the Supreme Court. We don't know if it will or not. But it was kind of like, that was like 5 years ago, and it's now being decided, what happened back then 5 years ago was shouldn't have happened. And then we have the Hermit. That's just one example, but I can give you a few, like 10 examples right now of what's happening in the world, where injustices that have happened in the past are now coming to light, and they're being dealt with, which is kind of interesting. Like, it's kind of showing you how long justice can take to actually come forward, and that. But then when you're kind of watching this unfold in the news and that, it's kind of interesting to watch. That eventually the truth does come out. That's how it is. And so when you think, oh, is that just a saying? Because it doesn't seem like it. But I feel like, yeah, like it's the world showing, the universe showing us that it's not just hearsay, or it's not just a saying or a phrase, that the truth comes out. The truth does come out eventually. And that's kind of what this is saying here. The Hermit's right here. And so the Hermit, actually, that energy represents someone who's been going through a dark night of the soul, and they've had to come to terms with themselves, kind of energy. And that's about, like, maybe when they had an opportunity to really look at their fears, they couldn't face them at that time. And now it's come to the point where they have to. And this is about going up to the mountain and isolating yourself. And this lantern actually represents having this North Star energy in here. So you get back on track on your path, and you have the knowledge that you need to be able to move forward, the light, the enlightenment. And that could have come from here, kind of energy, and then you went through the process. So this is about the Hermit. When his lantern is full of that light, his rod, his staff, lights up, and then that is, oh, okay, now I know what direction to go. So it's time to come down from the mountain now and take action with this knowledge that he has received. And so that energy is talking about moving into your heart's desires now. This is the courage to be able to proceed. And now we're talking about, hey, now you're reaching your heart's desires because you're back in alignment. Then we have, all these opportunities show up. So this is talking about all these opportunities might have even been there before, but you just couldn't see them. And the reason I feel that, the way that came up, is because if you think about yourself as being a black hole, that dark energy that the physicists talk about, that dark energy out there in the universe that nobody knows what it is, and it's supposed to be empty. Maybe it's really full of opportunities. And now you can see the opportunities, because we can only see a very small spectrum of light. We don't see the full spectrum, and we don't see all that emptiness in the universe is actually full of energy. We don't see it with our naked eye. So we have to look into it more. And so this is talking about, like, there's 7 cups here, and they're all gifts, and they all have different gifts inside each cup. But each of those cups, like, they can represent things that appear as challenges, but they're actually possibilities in disguise, that kind of energy. And now, where you couldn't see the opportunity before, now you see it loud and clear. And it's like, yay, I have so many opportunities. I can't wait to get started, kind of energy. And then we have the King of Pentacles coming in. So that's talking again about this, a legacy of money. And so this could represent, maybe on the physical realm now, to be able to get to your heart's desires, you need to consult with someone that you intuitively understand, okay, I can trust this person. And now I'm going to go and ask for, like, legal, professional, financial advice. This could be like from a financial advisor, accountants, lawyers, about matters, so that if you start a business or whatever you start, or you get in a relationship and you already have this much money, maybe you want a prenup or something like that. So it could be that kind of energy there. And then passion for new discovery. So it's kind of, I feel like it's kind of that energy of sewing up loose ends so that you can move forward now without any, like, thoughts in your head about, oh, I need to do this or that, or what if. Now you're in a position where, hey, I've taken care of all the elements that I need to hear. I know I've done my best. I've done the research. I've meditated on it. I've prayed on it. I've sought strong advice on this. I've done everything in my power to move forward, and now I'm just going to enjoy it, because I know I've done what I can do, and that's all I can do. And it's time to move forward with my heart's desires. Yes, it's time. I feel like this is saying it's time to come down from the tree of knowledge. I've been busy making sure that I'm making the right steps, and now I'm going to be like the emperor, and I'm going to be just waiting. If I'm waiting around, I'm just going to hop down off that tree. I have all the information I need, and as soon as that opportunity comes by, I'm going to grab it, and I'm going to work on that opportunity. And then when the next one comes by, I'll be ready for that one, and I will grab that one. And it's kind of that energy. So the lack of awareness can cause missed opportunities. And look at the sun comes out. It's like, eureka! I can see all these opportunities. This is awesome. And this is representing that you were destined for this greatness. You were destined to have this energy. Again, we have a horse here, so paying attention to recognizing, like, that energy is coming in. It's on its way kind of energy. Sometimes this energy can also represent, like, police energy, like law enforcement, because of the black and whites. So it could be that justice is coming in, and maybe it was a legality, and you decided to search out an expert in legalities, and now maybe that there's been some judgment made, and it's going to bring you the money that you've been deserving to get, kind of energy. It depends on your situation. You would know if you're in that situation or not. And then we have, this is like you're destined for greatness. Like, this is like you're supposed to be happy. And now that you're back on your destined path, everything's going to be easier. You notice how this child is just carrying that heavy banner with no problem. No reins on this horse either. And this child is totally fearless. He doesn't have a saddle, he doesn't have a bridle, he doesn't have anything to hang on to, and he's totally balanced on that horse, and he's just a little guy. That kind of energy, destined to be happy. And then we have the Page of Wands coming in. So perhaps when this, maybe this King of Wands said, hey, I want to get to meet you, and offered this love, and they came back, maybe now you're going on taking action. And notice now, notice how here the pyramids are closer up and they're further back, like they're at his feet here, but then it's like by the time he's a Knight of Wands, he's already looked into this energy. It's kind of talking about that. So it's like talking about, hey, now I'm taking action on the information that's coming in. So that could be, you sent out the message saying, would you like to go on a date? And they said, yes, I would. That kind of energy. And the Tower hits. I feel like in this circumstance, if you look at this, sometimes the Tower can be a really happy, ecstatic experience. So it could be representing that. And I feel in this case it does. But it still is going to, as ecstatic as it is, it's going to create some sort of real motion, like, okay, well, maybe we should get married energy. Sometimes this card can represent that maybe you have conceived a child, so that kind of energy. Or you have, like if you're the woman, I guess you've conceived it. And if you're the man, you're responsible for it. And so that's passion for sure. And so this energy here is talking about now the Ace of Cups coming in. So this being your divine partner and being really happy about this. This is a happy reality check. It's saying like, yeah, I do believe, God, I think you've done good. This is my divine partner. Not only do I feel a lot of love for this person, and look how overflowing it is. It's like there's no end to it. It's peaceful. It's what I've been looking for, and it's also passionate. And then the next energy coming in is talking, yeah, that's the judgment from God. So judgment isn't always a negative thing. And the ancestors are cheering, as well as the descendants. They're waving at each other back and forth. And yay, judgment has finally come down. You may be... maybe this money coming in was a legacy that was meant for you, and somehow it went awry and you didn't receive it. Some sort of energy like that. And now maybe there's been not a judgment, not just from God, like in the spiritual realm, but it's actually landed now. This energy is finally here, in the here and now. And so if going from the bottom from the past, going down, okay, what are the steps here? There's a lot of money here. There's something about a message about a lot of money that's taken a long time to come by, and there could be some juggling of morality here. We're not sure yet. It kind of feels that way for some, maybe not for everyone. And then this is facing your childhood fears and the wheel turning because you've done the inner work, and then moving into the Ace of Wands, like having a new passion for life. And knowing, hey, when the opportunity comes, I'm going to know it, and I'm going to jump down off that tree of knowledge, and I'm going to make a move. And that's when this cup of love comes in, and it's like, okay, this is your divine partner, and that this is a judgment from the Most High. Like this is, the sun is shining on this, and it's like, yes, you're supposed to be. This person is going to make you happy. You're going to make this person happy. You're a perfect match. It's going to be very passionate, as well as a lot of love. And you will encourage each other to move forward in a strong way. So again, having almost that youthful exuberance that you had, this offer that God was making you for passion for new discovery, you're now moving forward with it. And with your partner, it's coming up. And so this is like after having consulted, gone up to the mountain to consult with God, that this energy is coming in. So you'll know if you've done that or not yet. If you've gone through the dark night of the soul, you'll know it. And then this is the Chariot. So now the energy is really moving. So if it's not here yet, it's on its way. And I just keep getting this energy with all the horses and the Chariot, that energy of dun 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 dun. Like this is like a tank coming through, like, hey, get on my way, I'm coming to get my 10 of Cups and my lover. That's the kind of energy I'm feeling. So that might be representative of that energy on the 17th. I'm going to do, I decided I'm going to do bonus readings for the full moon. I'm going to make the time to do so, because the full moon on February 1st is in between now and the year of the horse coming in, and that's a Leo moon, so it's more fire. So I want to see, okay, what's that going to have? And okay, so if you are enjoying this reading, please do like and comment. It really helps me build my channel. I super appreciate it. And we're going to clarify with my cards from my oracle, Tales from the Vector. I do have a website, talesfromthevector.com, and that's TAILS. The information is in the description box below. I will put these cards that I'm using here in the order they come in up in the reading. So if you want to look on my website, these numbers on these cards represent the numbers on the paintings in my gallery, on my website. And it's courtesy of the Intergalactic Federation of Light. So I started this oracle back in 2007. I completed 64 paintings by 2020, at the end of 2020. And now I'm just getting ready to, like, the deck is, like, the art is done, and it's ready. I'm getting it ready to be printed. I have them all ready for that. But I'm working on the information now that goes along with it. And the best way to do that is to do it with a bunch of people like you. So I thank you for your time and energy here. I've been tuning into this energy with this deck. The Intergalactic Federation of Light has a funny sense of humor. It's a lot of dragons coming in from the future. They're different dragons. They're from the future. They're not the old-fashioned dragons. And it's, dragonflies, crystals, a lot of different energies coming in. So you might find it interesting. And let's see what's happening here. Oh, there we go. Usually there's a card or a few that come out. It's one card here, and this is talking about, degradation on the lovers. So this is, and again, it's talking about that, and that's why it came up, the star energy here, that you are like you are stardust. And this is like, if you don't follow, like if you juggle your morals and you take like the different path from the one that you were destined to be on, you don't follow your North Star, you're going to degrade your energy instead of raising your vibration. Basically, that's what it's saying. Or if other people do that to degrade your energy, it's shameful. Like, it's just not something that is a smart thing to do, actually. Because you're really, at that point, you are not arguing with, if you go out of your way to degrade someone, you're not to stop them from achieving whatever it is that they are trying to achieve, or that they're in line to receive. You're actually degrading your own energy. And what happens then is you're actually going against God's plan. And like, I don't, like, if you want to go up against God's plan, well, good luck to you. Because that, as I said before, it's really interesting how you see, the truth does actually come out. Like, it really does. If you sometimes have to wait a while, but it does. And so this is talking about having lack of awareness in life. And so there's some sort of energy around this money. Maybe you don't even know, like, that there is this money here, but it's talking about something to do with, pentacles. So lifestyle, whatever. There's something you aren't aware of. And when it's kind of like this energy where I was talking about when there's a reality check coming in, you're aware of it on the outskirts of your mind, kind of, but maybe it's not something you're ready to face yet. So until you go to this place where you are willing to face the fears in your subconscious mind, that's when you realize, and that's when everything opens up for you, because you are more aware then of it. Sometimes that's God's protection. Maybe it's something that happened when you were really young and you don't remember it. And it's just something that God knows you're not ready for it yet. And so when you're ready, the perfect time will come where that information will arrive. That's why sometimes it takes a long time for information to come to someone. Quite often rejection is God's protection, and so is like slowdom. Slowdom, is that a word? So the Empress energy, yes. So this is talking about, to attract an emperor, you have to be in the Empress energy, basically. So it's talking about raising your vibrations so that when you choose a lover, that it's a high vibration. You want your vibration and your balance of your masculine and feminine qualities to be as high as possible, and then that's what you will attract. And the moon. So yes, it's saying like there's that new moon that's coming up in Capricorn, the new moon on the 18th that we are experiencing right now. And then there will be that full moon on in Leo. And then after that, on the 17th, there's actually a new moon on the exact day of the Chinese New Year. So it's a lot of energy coming in. And then we have the sun. So yes, this is repeating. This is about God's plan. I feel like this is talking. There may be a never-ending nightmare or boredom that you're in, but this is talking about it's being, that could be the case. And it's also the case that you have received enlightenment from the Most High through the Holy Spirit in the wee hours of the morning to pay attention to that. And then we have the temperance, so that you can stay be devoted to your divine plan. And that requires patience. Then we have the hangman coming in. So that's saying, again, the hangman, get the knowledge before you make a move. And once you have the knowledge, then it's sitting right on this enlightenment here. Or this 10 of cups of having that total fulfillment. And then we have the Gemini energy coming in. So this is a learning curve you're on, being a star, and also this justice. And so this is also about communication and talking about needing to use your logic as well as your intuition for creative solutions, and learning, being able to use the Mercury energy is regarding communication. And we have attachment. And so attachment is the mother of all karmic spaces. When you become attached to something, that's when you have a tendency to abuse power or to have lack of awareness because you really don't want to see it, that kind of energy. It's talking about as soon as you become so attached to something, sometimes you'll do anything to hold on to it, and that can cause a lot of karma. There's also some dissension here. So this is perhaps an energy of there might be something that you are not aware of about this money, and there's people that you consider to be your friends and family members, etc., that know about it and they're just not telling you. There's some sort of dissension here. This is about swimming with sharks. With friends like this, who needs enemies? But there's a saying, keep your friends close and your enemies closer. And so then we have the Libra energy, and this is talking about becoming more mature about your love, and recognizing that maybe you don't want just to have casual partners anymore, and you're ready to make that choice to ask someone, like we have this energy coming in here of the divine partner coming through and really wanting to make that commitment. And then we have the courage and the strength to be integrated, and as well as having the integrity to follow your devoted path, which is usually it requires patience to be able to do that, and also the strength to dig deep here like this and really face your fears and the things about yourself that maybe you don't like that much, that kind of energy. And then we have Aquarius energy coming in. So yeah, it's just talking about that Aquarius energy. We've moved into the age of Aquarius, and we're in the very baby steps of it. And so we're all learning. But this is talking about moving forward in small steps, like the Capricorn energy is suggesting. You don't have to take giant leaps. Like you can just take small, consistent steps of action and observe if you're making results or not. It's about making that decision, though, to move forward. It's like, even if it's a small step, then the next day you take another small step, and those add up. It's like if you have this book in your head, but you're like, I just can't get myself to write it. It's probably because you're thinking, like, I have to write the whole book. Where, like, you could say to yourself, okay, I am going to sit down for 1 hour a day, and I'm going to, or even 15 minutes to begin with. And I'm going to sit there until I write something. And then it might only be 2 words. And then the next day you're writing like 2 paragraphs. And then before you know it, every day you're spending like an hour a day on your book, and you now have pages. And then the next thing you know, you have chapters. It's that kind of energy. The momentum builds when you're doing it that way. And then we have worldly and otherworldly desires. So Yes, this is about, people quite often don't recognize this, but every single thing that we have as a material that's matter, physical matter in the third dimensional world, began as a thought, or on the spiritual realm. And so you can have worldly and otherworldly desires, and you need to recognize that your soul has desires as well as the physical desires. And then both these cards want to come out for the top here, and we're talking about using your the shooting star and all-star. So this is talking about the intuition, making sure that you use your third eye to have the insight. And then also the shooting star is talking about your base chakra. So this is talking about you needing to have that strong attitude for everything to work out in this beautiful way. I really enjoyed this. And then look at this, we have Superstar here representing 2026. So having that harmony that you want. I really like this reading. This is awesome. Let's all claim this reading. I hope you've also enjoyed it as much. Please do like and comment if you have. And consider subscribing to my channel if you resonate with the energy. I will be back with another daily reading for you tomorrow. Bye for now.